I love this music. Oh, beautiful shot. Whoa.
次に美空直美の件ですが、もう公開捜査に踏み切るべきでは。
You should.
やるならキラ事件とは無関係とし、もし死んでいるとしても遺体が出てこないのはおかしい。出てくればそこから何かつかめるかもしれません。
But it's not gonna turn up.
龍崎、桜テレビを。
Wataru.
それは間違いなくキラから送られてきたものでした。
視聴率 60%。いや、70%はいくぞこれ。
Scumbag producer type.
目のテープには先日逮捕された2人の容疑者の死亡時刻が予告されていました。そして昨日、2人の容疑者がその予告通り
Whoa.
心臓麻痺で亡くなったのです。
それが本当なら確かにキラでなければできないことだ。
チャンネルを太陽テレビに変えてください。メインキャスターの日比間和彦氏が6時ちょうどに心臓麻
Whoa.
変えて。
まさか。龍崎。
チャンネル24に
Bro, is there another Death Note in play?
戻してください。
これで私がキラだということが信じていただけたかと思います。私は罪のない人を殺したくありません。悪を憎み、正義を愛します。
あなた、体に触ります。休んでくださ
You
い。
can't blame her. Okay, I don't want to speak over anything.
幸子、私はキラ事件の捜査本部長だ。
Don't show your badge. Or I mean, you have a fake badge. What? Press it. That's their boy out there, man.
相沢さん、どこへ行く気ですか？
Keep it together, man.
決まってるだろう。
ダメです。冷静になってください。
ここで黙ってテレビを見てろっていうのか。
Most interesting.
手帳も無駄だった。まさか我々の名前はすでにキラにバレているのでは。
あるいはそうかもしれません。
Light doesn't know their names yet, though.
私の推理では顔と名前が必要でしたが、これを見ている限り顔だけでも殺せる可能性もゼロではないとしか。
Whoa.
今言えるのはキラはあのテレビ局内、もしくは
Okay.
局に入るものを監視できるところにいるということで。
キラがあの周辺にいると。
Oh!
なおさら行くべきじゃないのか。
Shinigami eyes?
あんた
This isn't Light.
キラの逮捕に命かけてんだろう。
命をかけることと命をやすやす奪われる可能性のあることをするのは
はっ
正反対のことです。
何？
Oh.
こらえてください。浮田さんがやられ、これでもし
Shaking.
相沢さんの命まで奪われてしまったら。
Sochiro. Oh, damn. The only thing I can. Oh. Yaga. Chief Yagami, man.
しかし一体誰が。警察だ。番組を中止しろ。なんだ。すぐにキラの。
Backhand this producer.
出せ。出せば少なくとも今死ぬことは免れるぞ。何考えてんだあんた。正気か。
Whoa, Chief Yagami, man. The only thing I can think of at this time is Shinigami Eyes deal. And that's not Light. Oh.
駆けつけた警官2人が倒れました。私たちもここから避難し
This
ます。
is the Shinigami Eyes deal. It's gotta be.
わかった。エル。
私です。八神さん、やはりあなたが護送車で。
そうだ。我慢できなかった。テープはすべて押収した。そっちへ持っていく。
ちょっと待ってください。
Chotto
北
mate.
村次長、突っ込んだのは八神局長でした。そちらの準備は？
言われた通りにした。
八神さん、5分後に
So dramatic.
堂々と出てきてください。
正面から堂々と。
Whoa, look at this. Great shot. It's all blocked up. Look at this. Look at this. Imagine being... Whoa. Imagine being Chief Yagami and seeing this sight. Chief Yagami!
勝手な真似をしてすまなかった。感情的になりすぎたようだ。これにキラが送ってきた封筒テープ全部入っている。
I think Al's gonna figure out soon enough that it's not...
少し休ませてくれ。
Come on, you gotta show me something about this new player that's clearly entered the game.
面白いビデオでした。警察が
Yes.
協力に
Love this music too.
3のビデオの放映を指示してあり、簡単に言うと犯罪者をより多く報道すること。特に軽犯罪でも人を傷つけた者、弱い者への虐待はできる限り取り上げろということです。
長官が得るから平和な世界への協力をしなかった犠牲としてどちらを差し出すか4日間で決めてください。
Jeez. It's not light.
やはり神は僕の味方を
Yeah, it's not light.
今回は死神だけどね。
みたいだな。
There is another one in play.
一匹の死神が舞い降りた。そしてその死神のデスノートは
And they took the deal.
する人間の手に
The Shinigami Eyes deal, they took it.
死神の目を見たこんな卑劣なやり方でキラの品位を落として
Oh my god, this is great.
偽がヘマをして捕まりデスノートの存在を知られてもまずい
Now he has to look...
野放しにしてはおけない僕が一番理想とするのは捜査本部に協力し、エルの動きと偽キラの動きを把握すること
Fake Kara. But fake Kara's got the Shinigami Eyes deal.
キラに便乗した者に殺されるのは
どういう意味だ、龍崎。
He gets it.
このキラはキラの偽物の可能性が高い。いや、第二のキラというべきでしょう。
Yep.
何のキラ。
God damn the music,
い
man.
ると思うのか。ちゃんと話してくれないか。
He's able to do it by...
自分がキラだとテレビ局員に信じさせるためにビデオで予告殺人した犠牲者について。この2人の事件は女性週刊誌とワイドショーでしか報道されていなかった。
第二のキラという可能性は一体どのくらい。
Quite high.
70% 以上です。だいたいやり方が気に入らない。
Yeah, this one's reckless.
らしくない。
今までキラは追うものは別として
I mean, he tried, but...
犠牲は避けていた。もう片方を捕まえるヒントは少なからず生まれる。
Ooh. Chief Yagami's hair, though.
八神さん、息子さんに捜査協力を願ってもよろしいでしょうか。
I was hoping for this. A potential team up?
息子の疑いは完全に。
No, he's still a suspect.
疑いは晴れたとは言えませんが、息子さんの推理力は期待できる。
そういう意味か。
It's a singer.
なあミサ、せっかくデスノートをあげたのにもっと自分のために利用しなくていいのか。
Whoa.
自分のために使ってるよ。
Oh. Oh,
キ
from...
ラに賛成だし、会ってお話ししたいとも思ってるよ。
Oh, is this a girl from the opening?
そのためにわざわざテレビにあんなの送ってキラに気づい
To
て
get his attention.
したんだから。キラは興味持って
She's kind of like Harley Quinn then.
きっと
殺されるかもしれない。わかってる？
大丈夫だよ。キラはきっと純粋な子には優しいし、いざとなったら目を持ってるミサの方が強い。
Shinigami Eyes, yep. Right then. Now that is a damn good episode, man. That is quite good. I did not want that to end. You know, the moment I saw the mid-episode card, I was like, ah, shit. Only 10 or so minutes left. Yeah, that episode really spiced things up, didn't it? I mean, a new player has entered the game, a chaotic new presence, bit of a cute but deadly feel about it all, about her, this new character that's coming now. You know, it's a new character, but I believe I've seen her already in the opening, and I believe I've seen two sides of her actually. But you know, it's kind of interesting. You know, you have L and Light who keep everything so they have a method to the madness, right? They're geniuses. But now you have this chaotic presence coming in, and it's a problem for both of them, for Light and L. L and the task force. So this really, like I said, it really does shake things up now. And in that sense, actually, before I get into some of this other stuff, let's address the opening and this new character, this new female character that's just come in. And if it feels like even L knows as much or has surmised as much that this might be a female, given the fact that he was talking about these Kara killings, these new Kara killings, being people that are only mentioned in women's magazines or daytime television. I mean, it's a bit stereotypical, but I believe the point of that is to let the audience know that L is on that track, that he might think this is a female. Now, I said it might be a bit stereotypical, but I mean, the first glance, she seems like a bit of a ditzy and again, Harley Quinn, like I said, strong Harley Quinn and Joker parallel. She seems to be obsessed with Kara. And in that sense, it's falling right into Light's lap. I mean, at this moment in time, he doesn't know this, but she's obsessed, right? And, I brought up this possibility in episode 1, I believe, that yes, there are going to be some groupies out there or some people that might get obsessed or, admire Kara. And here you have it, this new user of the Death Note, who also happens to have the Shinigami Eyes deal. So game changer, big time. And the moment you make that connection of her, being obsessed and being this huge fan of Kara, and she also happens to have the Shinigami Eyes deal, that makes things quite juicy or quite interesting for Light, right? I'll get into that in a bit, but again, circling back to this girl, this female character. Now, I believe I've seen her in the opening, right? Now, the two sides of her that I've seen, I think. One of them is this really... Okay, let's start the first one. I talked about this in one of my recent episodes. I did, the first time I checked out the opening, and I did a bit of a scene-by-scene. And this is one of the scenes that stuck out, this character that they haven't shown yet. And, my first thoughts of this character, she seemed lost in life, right? And that she has no direction in life, right, at this moment in time. Nothing to latch onto. And then, of course, there's that transition shot of Light, right, reaching out, lending a hand, like he did with Naomi. So, my first thoughts, before I even saw her in this episode, now, again, that's assuming that this is the same person, because this showed this side of her, the more, ditzy, gothic, or goth girl, I guess, side of her in the episode, in the opening as well, right? She's laying down on a bed or on the floor. There's a quick shot of it. But I feel like it's the same character. It's the same female. But yeah, Light lends out the hand, and at that moment in time, in that discussion, my thoughts about that, is it possible that Light could, two thoughts, right? One was that she could be a love interest, and she certainly could be. From her side of things, there's certainly that aspect there. She's a bit of a super fan. She's obsessive. She likes Kara. She hasn't even seen Light in person yet. So the moment she sees Light in person, Light's meant to be a good-looking dude, a really handsome dude, right? So yeah, she's going to be even more infatuated, right? Oh, look, this serial killer that I obsess over happens to be this super good-looking dude as well. So yeah, let's see how that plays out. But yeah, first thoughts, could have been a love interest. And then also the other thought, this is entirely based on how they presented her in that situation. Again, looking a bit lost, looking just, open to vultures almost. and then enter Light Yagami, Kira. So my other thought was that he could potentially use her, manipulate her, and it appears that it could be heading into that direction, right? Now, again, this side of her that they've shown me at the end of this episode, she doesn't seem as if she's lost in life or directionless. Bit of a contrast there, right? But unless it's not the same person, but I feel like it is. They don't really show that many people in that opening, so I feel like it might be the same person. But yeah. Now I said, I'm not saying this. They presented her as this ditzy, cute character, but of course she's deadly, quite deadly. So much so that she even took the Shinigami Eyes deal. Now that raises the question: how come she felt the need to take the Shinigami Eyes deal? Right? Is there something deeper to it? Is there a bit of a dark past there? Right? Now I say that because of her specific instructions, right? L is talking to the rest of the task force. And the thing that really stuck out is the type of criminal she is asking for, right? She asked for criminals that have assaulted people. Again, that also goes back to the title of the episode, Assault, and also criminals that have taken advantage of or preyed on defenseless people, right? It's starting to feel like that she might have a bit of a dark past. I mean, dark past in the sense that she might have gone through some not so great things herself. She might have gone through some terrible things. Is it possible that she was assaulted? And now, she's trying to go after that type of criminal, right? People who do take advantage of harmless or defenseless people, right? Or has someone close to her died in that manner, or been treated in that manner, assaulted. So I could see that as a bit of a ghost of this character arc. And now she's kind of, using the Death Note to target those kinds of criminals. Though, of course, in this episode, she kind of took out a few innocent people, right? So there's a bit of a, you have her saying that, I don't want to kill innocent people, and the police are my friends, or they're allies. Yet she did kill innocent people. Yes, they spoke out against Kara, but that is not enough reason to consider them enemies, right? But she did. She felt that was enough reason alone. Again, going back to that concept of her being defensive for Kira, even, right? That's how much she's kind of infatuated by him or with him and obsessive over him, right? So clearly both Light and L. I mean, Light knows it's not him because he's just just like L and some of these other people. He's just sitting at home, seeing it play out. And like I said in the last episode's discussion, all Light really has to do is just sit back and see how this plays out, and it fell right into his lap. But yeah, going back to L, L, you could tell throughout the episode, he's starting to put it together. Okay, this is not my prime suspect, Light Yagami. This is something else going on here. And by the end of the episode, he puts his thoughts out there for the task force. Now, again, he's already kind of constructed a profile, right? You could tell that he knows at this point that this person, this new Kira, the second Kira, only needs a face, right? So that concept is out there now. That's a scary prospect for the task force, right? And anyone else even out there. And he's also kind of figured out that this might be a female, right? Also, he noted that this was shipped from Osaka. Could this be a slip up? They did set her up as someone. No, you don't get the same. Again, I keep interrupting myself, but you don't get the sense that she might be a genius or anything, or someone quite intelligent. But then also, I should say, looks can be deceiving before I judge her just based on looks. Now, I'm calling her ditzy because that's how they presented her, right? Though she is clever enough and intelligent enough to be able to, execute these killings, right, through the Death Note. And also, it appears that her Shinigami also might be female. So, a really interesting new character. Two new characters actually being introduced here, and should be noted that this isn't the Shinigami that said it's going to show up and see how Ryuk is doing, or just check in on Ryuk. So there's now a potential of 3 different Shinigamis being around these characters, right? Now, once they do actually meet up, Light and this new female character, that is, it's going to be a different story, of course. I'm quite confident that they are going to team up, or Light is going to make it seem like he's going to team up, because there is quite an enticing possibility here, and I'll get into that. But even before seeing this, just from the opening a few episodes ago, that's the conclusion I came to, that it's possible that he could end up using this individual, right, manipulate her. And it looks like that's quite a realistic possibility at this point. I'm actually quite confident that once they do have an encounter and they get to meet each other, Light is going to realize, oh, okay, so this is once again, just falling right into my lap. But until that happens, you could tell that Light has concern, mainly because he can already notice that this new person, this new Kira, or this, additional user of the Death Note is quite reckless, right? And her being reckless, or this new user being reckless, is not good for Light, because he could tell that this is not as airtight, or her MO and her methods and her dirty tactics are not in line with Kira. And in that sense, he's, not happy about his Kira reputation being tarnished or being dragged, because of these dirty tactics. So, even Light Yagami, Kira has morals, right? And an image to keep up as Kira. Now, L did say that, Kira doesn't really kill innocent people, right? So L could already tell something's off here, but in that sense, it's a bit off. Light has killed innocent people, but then, of course, there's that, not to defend Light in this case, but, he... like in my mind, I'm already kind of, debunking my own thoughts. But yes, in the earlier on, Light wasn't trying to go after innocent people. He didn't want to go after innocent people. But then, of course, his mindset is so dead set on this. He feels like he's this person that's above anyone else, and that his method is the one true method, and he can't see any other method, right, or any other outcome, right, on this crusade of his. So if you are innocent and you do get in his path, then you become the enemy. Then you're not innocent anymore in his eyes, right? So it's a slippery slope. But that being said, he has gone after Ray. Ray wasn't effectively after him anymore, but he still used Ray to get to the other 12 FBI agents, right? Naomi was a massive threat. Even though she was innocent, she was a massive threat to him, so she had to be taken care of. So for that reason, now he has concern about this new Death Note user. And even Ryuk is quite excited to know that, okay, look, another Shinigami's out here, and they've given another human a Death Note. Now, hopefully they go into a backstory for her, this character, and how she came in contact with the Death Note and this Shinigami, who is a female Shinigami. I think that much was clear to see. You could even tell in the voiceover. But yeah, a backstory is needed at some point. I'm guessing she's going to explain her story to Light at some point once they do end up meeting and kind of end up on the same side. She certainly wants that, right? And Light is just too intelligent to, give up on this opportunity, right? To manipulate her or use her to further his own cause. Though there could still be a romantic aspect to this. But at the end of the day, even if she does become part of a team, or if she is kind of teaming up with Kira or Light, at the end of the day, she's not going to be more important than Light's ultimate goal, right? I've said a few times now, I firmly believe that if push came to shove, he would even write down his own father's name. So, this new character is, in that sense, it's not going to be that big of a deal to use her and discard her if he does end up going in that direction. And the reason I say that is because she has the Shinigami eyes, right? That is just insane. Now, that presents such an enticing, I was talking about this earlier on, that presents such an enticing opportunity for Light. He doesn't have to think of taking that Shinigami deal for himself now. He could, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. At this point in time, he doesn't know that this person is infatuated with Kira and is obsessive. But I am kind of, taking that possibility and kind of running down that path. Once they do meet, he is going to realize that he could manipulate her or use this to his advantage and use her Shinigami eyes abilities, right? He noted, of course, this new Kira's killing abilities are far greater than my own at this point in time. So I have no doubt in my mind that Light is going to instantly realize this and use her abilities to further his own cause. And the thing is, it feels like she'll be more than happy to do it on his behalf, right? Or become this Joker Harley Quinn duo. Strong parallel there. I mean, the Batman parallels are kind of unmissable at this point. She even kind of looked like Harley Quinn. Though that could just be the goth look, right? Now that shit just gets crazy at that point. Once Light or Kira gets his hands on that, possibility that he could use her Shinigami eyes deal. Wow, things get really tough then for L and the task force. I said this, I think, in the first ever discussion. It could be quite interesting if there could be another Death Note in play, right? And if Light actually meets another user or a past user, in this case, there's a good chance he's going to end up meeting a current user. So, yeah, that possibility was an interesting one even back then in episode 1. So, it's not that shocking to see that this might happen now. So yeah, I think it's just a moment of time, or a question of time at this point. Once Light does meet her and realize that he can use her and team up. I say team up, but Light's not that type of person. He's above that. But before I get too far ahead of myself, before they even meet, there's another exciting possibility, and another one that I kind of called or really wanted to happen in just the last episode. L and Light teaming up. Now it's going in that direction for sure. L himself is asking for Light or his addition to the task force because he knows how helpful he could be on this case. And this goes back to that thing I brought up, that clearly both of them are, even though they find themselves on the opposite ends, right, and against each other, they are going to learn. They are going to see each other's qualities and be impressed by each other's qualities, right? And here you have it. It's already happening. L and Light are going to team up, right? And, again, that's perfect for Light, as he said. I get to have a close look on L and the task force, and I get to, potentially hunt down the second Kira. And he doesn't even know yet, but the moment they do hunt her down, or the moment he gets to her, it's going to be a bit of a jackpot for him. So it really is the perfect situation for Light. Everything is, just falling right into his lap at this moment in time. Though I feel like this run of luck is going to run out at some point, surely. But for now, it's all set up nicely for a team up, a Light and L together. And hey, man, I mean, some of these things I have called and asked for, and they are happening. Now, that being said, once he does come in on the investigation, he is going to meet the task force, the rest of the task force, right? Unless L decides to keep him separate, but I don't know, that could be a bit tricky. So if he does end up meeting the task force, I feel like L is not going to let them introduce themselves, as their real names, right? Or not give out their real names. He'll tell them to keep using the fake IDs he gave them. Also, Watari, is he going to give him a fake name, or is Watari a fake name, right? Already. I mean, if L's going to protect himself, I'm guessing he's probably protecting Watari as well, right? By making sure that he has a fake name. Now, in that sense, it doesn't even matter. Even if Light meets task force and knows their actual names, first of all, it's not smart to do anything about it anyways. Second, he can't do anything about it because the moment, say he finds out their names and he decides to pick off one of them, it'll be too easy to pinpoint it, right? And he already put this kind of thing together a few episodes ago. Now that he's a suspect, if all of a sudden someone close to the task force goes missing, then it's quite easy to figure out that, look, the moment Light got introduced to the task force, one person has gone missing, or this happened. So he's not gonna try anything like that. He's too intelligent for that. Though I still think he slipped up quite a bit in that last episode, right? That whole situation of the photos, I think that's a major slip up. Now, speaking of the task force, a bit of an up and down evening for them, right? Unfortunately, they lost one of them, so already down a person, and they only had a handful to begin with, right? Now, before I forget about this, that person at the end, the one who opened the door for Chief Yagami, and he was really like looking at Chief Yagami, he seemed familiar. Now, is that one of the guys that left the task force, right? And is he now kind of is it possible that people might start coming back to the task force, seeing this courageous response, especially Chief Yagami out here. Chief Yagami, man, I really do like him so much. I really hope, but I say that, but like I was about to say I hope he makes it to the end of the series, but there's so many different things that are just against this task force and against Chief Yagami. But, he was really out here getting down and dirty, crashing trucks through buildings, getting his gun out, really playing his part, right? He took it upon himself. Because again, it was established a long time ago. He's just not the type of person to sit back, right? He couldn't just lay in his hospital bed anymore. He just had to spring into action. That's just the type of person he is, right? Speaking of Chief Yagami, man, he's at this rate, he's going to end up having another heart attack or something. You can even see that his hair, right? It's physically notable at this point, or noticeable at this point, that his hair is kind of graying, quite a bit, noticeably, right? So a lot of stress on him. But yeah, Chief Yagami, man, great character. But again, like I said, it's there's also this ominous shot of him literally heading down the tunnel to the light, right? The light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, it's an ominous shot. Of course, at the end of that shot, there's, that whole barricade. But again, that shot is kind of unmissable, right? Him going through this long tunnel and then the light at the end of the tunnel. It is ominous. In that sense, there's a lot of beautiful frames in this one. That opening, probably some of the best or some of the most beautiful frames of the entire series so far. That one shot of light looking out, that initial establishing shot of like the sunrise, I believe, and then there's that really cool shot of Ryuk sitting on the bed, and then you have Light's shadow looming above him or to his side, and then of course the transition was quite a good one as well. It's Light kind of looking out, and then it transitions into them talking about the Naomi missing case. But again, speaking of the task force, how great was it to see L really hustle and make sure that Chief Yagami makes it out of there safe and sound. And he was quite concerned for his health, right? Even on the phone, he asked him, "How are you?" In that sense, he's almost kind of like a second son, isn't he? L to Chief Yagami. He has respect for Chief Yagami, right? And he cares for Chief Yagami. And even after seeing him in that condition, right? Chief Yagami said, "Let me rest for a second." You know, that this information he put his life at risk for, that it's going to lead to something. He's going to make sure of it. So I really like this L and Chief Yagami relationship as well. Right then, I think that's about it for this episode. That was just fantastic, man. It really was. I didn't want it to end. I'm so excited for the next one. This is probably the most excited I've been to move on to the next episode. I think I said that recently, but you know, I'm seeing it yet again. You know, honestly speaking, and that is the point of this, right? I am reviewing this show. Yes, you know, in the first stretch, you know, the first 7-8 episode stretch, perhaps, there, you know, it was a bit of a start and stop type thing going on, right? But you know, now, you know, especially after L and Light met up, things have really progressed, you know, over the span of these past few episodes. So quite excited now. I'm quite excited to get to the next episode as well and see how it all plays out. You know, Light joining the task force, and then Light potentially meeting this new character. I mean, not potentially. I think I'm quite confident they are going to meet. Now, hopefully I haven't just, you know, mix up two different characters, but I do feel like that's the same character they're showing, you know, in on the floor in that one shot. You know, she's got the full goth get up, and then in the beginning as this lost soul, directionless person, right, individual that finds Light in the opening, that is. So quite excited, man. I'm quite excited to get to the next episode. So if you enjoy that, consider dropping a like. It really does help the channel. Consider subscribing to the channel. There's a fixed schedule in place, so there's a specific day for Death Note. If you are looking for early access to the next episode right now, or maybe even full length to this episode, consider checking out the Patreon page. Check out the different listings there. There is other content on my channel, so perhaps even something else could catch your eye. But yeah, you know, consider checking that out if you are interested in early access. And also check out the pinned comment. Or consider checking out the pinned comment from time to time. It has the link to the Patreon page. It has links to my social media, though Instagram is on private at the moment for other reasons. There's another anime on my channel, Shingeki, and Instagram had to go private because of it, for potential spoiler reasons. There's also Twitter. I'm quite active on Twitter. So consider that. And if there's any updates, I usually update the pinned comment. So yeah, you know, that's about it for this fantastic episode. Easily top 3, I'd say, of the series so far. So thanks for joining me for this one, and thanks for checking that out. And I hope to see you soon for the next one. Take it easy.